Fuck you.
Fuck you.
We're on the east side. Kind of.
Yeah.
What is it? What isn't it? Where the hell am I?
This is Alum Rock.
Alum Rock
area, yeah.
What's the Alum Rock area all? Whoa, hang on. I'm sorry, everybody. Welcome to Conservatish episode 67.
Damn.
Fuck me. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. You can support this podcast and all of my music. Yes, I do music at patreon.com/Conservatish. Share this, subscribe to the video. Fuck you. So, nice. Alum Rock.
Yeah. Alum Rock area. I mean, if you go like 100 feet, you're on the east side. You know?
Yeah. It kind of felt like if the east side got rich. This is like...
yeah, like if they just took a shower, you know? If the east side... Just took a little shower.
Just a horse bath.
Let me wash my face here.
Right. It's gorgeous though up here though.
Yeah. There's. I mean, it's gotten better. You know, this is my grandparents' house. Like every Mexican kid raised at the grandparents' house.
Right.
You know, just it's had a lot of changes lately since we've taken over the house. But it's come a long way. But
it's a nice spot. It's a nice view. It's nice everything. Our guest today is Pete Muñoz, comedian.
Yep.
What else do you do? I mean, you're a metalhead.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. Grew up Pantera, hating Megadeth, loving Metallica.
Okay, did you grow up hating Megadeth, loving Metallica? That's a very unpopular opinion. Most of the time, people go the opposite direction with that.
Yeah, no, I just hello me, meet the real me. Like just come on, dude. Dave Mustaine. I listen to his solos. I go, cut it out. All right, cut it out, dude.
Yeah, he just seems angry. Which can be fun sometimes. But why do you feel like? Is it just the music that's the main cause of like not liking that motherfucker?
I just don't like it. I like some of the songs, you know, but I just didn't grow up. I wanted to be Kirk Hammett growing up. I just wanted to.
You kind of look like him. I could see you see you if you grew out your hair a little bit.
You should see my Uncle Frank looks like him. I'll send you a picture. Insert right here.
Right.
But he looks like Kirk Hammett, but like way more. Like if Kirk Hammett still did drugs, that's my Uncle Frank.
Right.
Like.
Did he get sober too?
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
I know. What's his face? The lead singer, James. I know James did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. See, I like Symphony of Destruction. I haven't heard much else from him, but like, you know, I just feel like. I guess most people go like fuck Metallica and Dave is more like real man and he's more like into the music and the other guy's kind of sold out. You feel like Metallica didn't see it.
Way opposite.
Have you heard Saint Anger though? That's some shit. Come on.
It's crap.
Okay.
The thing with that is there's too many guitar riffs on it. There's too many guitar riffs. There's not the Bob Rock played the bass. Come on, you know.
Bob Rock. Who's Bob Rock?
He was the producer. Black Album. Okay. All the loads, reload.
Who's the Mexican guy who's in it now?
Rob Trujillo was in the band. He was joining the band as they were finishing, I think mixing it or something like that.
Okay, so that was too late for him to.
He didn't do anything on it, as far as I know. And then they had Bob Rock do it, and it was just crap.
Okay.
Lars had those weird drums where they were the hollow drums. It's like, come on.
I think the songwriting is what bothered me. Even just the name Saint Anger is such a. To me, it's just a corny. A little douchey. It had
moments. It had moments. Like Frantic was dope. They had some good stuff on there, but I think there's just too many guitar riffs. Right. Way too many riffs.
There was this. They came out with a new album maybe like last year, right, or the year before.
Within 2 years, yeah, I think so.
There was that one single that was the shit, dude.
Hardwire.
Yeah. Cool. And I had my friends at the time were like, that's fucking blah blah blah. They're trying to recreate their old shit. I'm like, they
invented that.
That's a fun fucking.
Polished,
track, man.
Yeah. Hell, a lot of that album is good. It's a double album. The songs are so long, like 6-7 minutes. You know.
Oh, really?
Fucking one song, 8 minutes. You know. I think Lars is gonna fall apart. He's got to be the first. He's already dumbing down his drum set and stuff. Because He's old. I wonder how many takes it takes him to do his stuff, his songs.
Right. Have you seen him live?
I've seen him live about 8 times.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's hard because
always at the stadium.
Yeah, I've never seen them anywhere small. I mean, I was old enough to hear about when they played Tower Records in the parking lot. Remember when they did the
no idea.
It was when Load and Reload came out, and they just showed up because you know them. They toured the fucking world. They tour everywhere. So it's like My favorite band is 311, so they're not main.
I kind of like 311.
You know, they're not huge. There's no demand for them to play in Europe. You know, maybe
right,
but I see them every summer.
There's not as many potheads over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're doing heroin, train spotting.
Fucking slightly stupid. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole culture though. I like 311 songs. Some of their fans though bother the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I must say.
Oh, then.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I kind of feel about Bob Marley too. Like I like Bob Marley. I don't like the Trustafarians who listen to them.
I don't. I'm done with the Bob Marley, like the shirt where it's half Bob Marley's face and half the lion.
Yeah,
and or the one
dorky.
The only Bob Marley shirt that I can remember, he's playing soccer. He's all making that move.
Right. This is before I got foot
But
cancer. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, so like I do open mics everywhere, and you just hear you do mix open mics at coffee shops and stuff like that, where some guys like, playing the Bob Marley song, and I'm just like, I'm sick of Bob Marley. Like,
right.
It's like Michael Jackson singles. You know, people go, "Oh my God, bad," or "Beat It." I go, "Dude, I've heard those songs a million times.
Right.
They're great.
Right.
Nothing against them, but give me. I like a lot of Michael Jackson's deeper cuts and stuff like
Plus,
that.
Bob Marley never diddled a boy, so that might be a little
yeah.
that we know of.
He only had
maybe that's why the CIA went
13
after
moms and baby mamas and all these.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't hate him for that.
Different vices.
You know, dude is different vices. A little more palatable.
Yeah.
Being a cheater than being a diddler.
Yeah.
You feel like he diddled?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, fuck. I usually don't say anything if I don't know everything about it. You know, like I don't want to be like, I don't. Well, maybe.
Right.
You know, I like to have proof before.
Yeah, that is not my problem. I
like to have proof. All right.
I tried to, but
that's not the proof I want. You know,
right.
We have some photos here of Michael touch. Shit. Fuck, I didn't want to know.
There was some butthole staring.
Yeah.
So you started in comedy what time?
I started about 13. I'll be 13 years this June.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 25 years old.
Okay. That seems honestly late for most comedians these days.
I had wanted to wait a little bit. I always wanted to do it, but I wanted to wait. And it's funny because I said to myself, I want to experience life a little bit. You know,
right.
25 years old. The fuck did I know? I don't know anything now. I'm 38.
I know. I always say, like, I'm a dumbass at 32. I don't know why I'm allowed to vote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
dude. And I think, for the record, I think voting should be at 16.
You think it should be at 16?
Because you're gonna be 18 when that you're gonna.
It's but 16. I don't, like I said, I don't trust fucking 25-year-olds.
We gotta change it up.
Fully frontal cortex is not even fully formed.
Something's not working. You know, so let's try it for a year.
Okay, here's a question. Maybe maybe it isn't working the way it is, but maybe that's not the problem, is the age of the people who are voting the people in. Maybe the part of the problem that it's not working is because of outside circumstances or maybe what we're told about how it's actually working, or the news, or there are a lot of more factors, I think, probably more than just the age of somebody and shit.
Maybe if we change it to 16, people will get aware and they'll try to grow up sooner, you know.
Yeah.
Because what do people do when they turn 18? I'm gonna play the lotto. I'm gonna
buy
cigarettes.
Right.
At the same time.
Yeah, and 25, you're just renting a car. I think that's the only thing.
I think Dollar lets you rent at 21.
Oh.
Pretty sure. Yeah. So all you kids out there watching.
Right. See, you don't just get entertainment from my podcast. You also get education.
Yeah.
So you started doing it at 25.
Yeah.
How did you start?
It's a crazy story. So like I said, I had always wanted to do it. You know, I was always kind of just the guy in my group of friends that just crack jokes and stuff like that.
Right.
I never focused on going to school. I've always wanted to do something like to entertain. And so I was just on my Facebook, my MySpace one time, just like I had a picture of a guy doing stand-up comedy. Looked a little bit like Howie Mandel and Seinfeld.
Okay.
Black and white sketch, just holding a mic, you know, with a mullet and everything.
You drew it?
No, I just found it. You know how you could add stuff of who you are on MySpace, personality, and you just put like the Care Bear of the Raider Care Bear peeing on the Niner logo. You know, you're like, that's my.
And it's always there was a lot of glitter.
The glitter,
there was a lot of fucking glitter.
Yeah,
man.
I had just a stand-up comic.
Right.
And so I randomly got a message from some guy one night from New York. His name was White Chappelle, and yeah, I know that's. No one ever believes it, but how could I? You know, his name was White Chappelle. I never knew his name. I wouldn't even know how to talk to him and thank him today. But he said, "Hey, are you a stand-up comic?" And I go, no, but I want to. I want to do stand-up. I've always wanted to. And so he goes, oh, dude, you should go check out these places and send me a list of places to go to. I still didn't know who it was just
what a wonderful, what a nice boy.
Random message. Still. And so then I, hello, sounds like improv. Can I do comedy there? No, bye. All right. Hello, Punchline. Do you guys do something for comics? Called. There nowhere to go. I emailed them. Hey, do you guys do like an amateur night? Nope. I went to the list that he gave me.
Right.
And so there was no scene here. There was a scene like I didn't know about it. That's the thing with stand up. I think people are lucky because they could just go to any random bar. Stand up's so in San Jose right now. You can go to the Caravan on Wednesday nights and just sitting there drinking. All of a sudden, boom, comedy show starts. You're like, wow, what the fuck,
Right.
And
but 13 years ago wasn't.
13 years ago wasn't like that. I didn't know where to go. So I get to the list and I go, all right, Rooster Teeth Feathers. All right, let me message this. Rooster Bookings, Yahoo. Hey, I'm a new stand-up comic. I want to try stand-up comedy. I hear you guys do open mic, amateur. Well, we're in the middle of an amateur competition right now, and we're not taking any open mics until like June. So I said, all right. I talked to somebody, and they said no. They said whatever. So around May, I got a message from the owner, from the booker there, and she's like, hey, I have a spot for you on June 26th. Are you still down to do it? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Now this was an open mic spot.
Open mic for amateurs, people that are brand new. That thing has been going on forever, and I can't thank that place enough. So I get the message back, and it's like, all right, confirmed June 26th, and I was like, oh my god,
I gotta come up with 5 minutes.
I gotta do this now. I gotta write this down. Cause
when did I say that funny thing to my friend 3 weeks ago? What would I?
Yeah,
it was about Arizona iced tea.
Yeah, what I've always done, I've always said to myself whenever, like early on when I was starting and I'd get nervous about stuff, I go, dude, I've been funny for 5 minutes before. I can do this.
Right.
I can do this. Don't worry,
Right.
I always try to do sets a little bit different. Like I have jokes material, obviously, but I'd like it to just be like a tornado. When I'm on stage, like if I'm telling material, it's because I'm in trouble. I'm just like I'm not thinking of anything to come right out. And I like to riff a lot, where it's just I'll walk into the room, just pull stuff out of the air, have fun like that.
Fuck with people.
Say stuff that I'll never say again.
Right.
It happened in that moment, and then I'll tell some material just kind of to like when I'm cruise control, when I'm like, all right, we're about to land, everybody sit down, and I'm gonna tell these jokes, leave you with a couple of thoughts, and then I'm out of here.
Okay. That's
when I have the most fun. And when I'm having fun, everybody else is, and I've always heard like you're really natural up there, and that's what I want to be. I don't want to be like, oh, you can tell he memorized word for word for word for word. That's not. I'm not a TV show.
So have you always been like that? When you first started out, like how did your first set go?
It was good. That's why I kept with it. So you usually get 5 minutes, but my first night I had 75 people show up to the place.
That you invited?
That I invited,
Jesus,
that knew about it, that like...
East Side rolling
the
deep.
The whole place was just like, the tables are like this, and they had like rows of 10, just like, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And so you usually get 5 minutes. Sometimes you get less if you have like nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 12 minutes to do my first stand-up set, and nailed it, went right through it.
Did all written stuff?
Some of it written. I had written a joke about my brother getting caught smoking weed in the bathroom, and then I had written a joke about how MySpace lets you do like 8 pictures on your profile, and I wrote a joke about my mom throwing the chancla at me,
right?
Which is a joke that everybody does.
Well, everybody Mexican.
So yeah, so like I used that, and then I just went from there, and then like I said, there was still no scene. So I went back to that same club in August, and if I were to do one show in June and then one show again in August, you'd think I'm dead,
Right.
Nowadays, but there was nowhere to go. So I went there, kept going there, kept trying to get into that club for years. It took me 11 years to get into that club because I was fucking around.
You're talking about Rooster? No.
Yes.
Okay.
Being a paid past comic, like
okay.
Where I can't do the amateur nights anymore, where when I show up to do a set, they're paying me.
Right.
I'm working a weekend from Thursday through Sunday.
Right.
On their payroll.
Right.
Stand-up comic.
Right. Headlining?
No.
Okay.
Fuck, I wish.
Right.
Yeah, once you're in, you're in. You're just like, oh fuck, I got a lot more work to do. You know,
Right.
Hosting, featuring, headlining. Headliners usually have credits, TV credits, and stuff like that. But I've closed out their show, the amateur nights, a couple times, 15 minutes. But you know, that's the goal, is to get to that, to headline Rooster T. Feathers.
Right. But what a feature will do, or what an opener will do, is when a headliner's coming in, does the headliner decide? Does they get to decide who opens or who features for them?
Sometimes. Some clubs do. Some comics do. At Roosters, they usually book the host and the feature. Some of the comics there, they probably don't travel with a feature.
Okay.
Pretty rare that I've seen that happen, but at the Improv, that'll happen. Like Gabriel Iglesias or something like that, somebody big, they have their crew,
right?
So they don't got to meet somebody new every time they go into a different city.
Right.
Oh, you're the host. I don't know how long you've been doing stand up. They have their team. They're traveling everywhere together,
which is helpful for a lot of reasons. But one of them is so that you're not stepping on each other's types of jokes or doing the same topics. You already know that you complement each other well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and you're helping a friend out, or you're getting money for your friend or whatever. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, like, you're on the road by yourself, but if you're on the road with your friends, like it gets lonely when you're on the road, dude. Sometimes you do shows, and I've always said, how can you get lonely on the shows? But it doesn't get like I'm sad lonely. It's like you're hanging out with everybody else except your family, except your aunt, your cousins. You're not seeing your friends. You know, even when I go on the road for like 10 days, 2 weeks at a time or whatever here and there, like, I'm like, man, I can't wait to get back home. This is all fun, but I can't wait to get back home still,
right?
And share the memories and talk about the stories and stuff like that.
Hotels are nice for like 3 days, and then you're like, I'd rather clean up my own shit. Like, I'd rather I don't want a prepackaged soap. Like, it doesn't even say soap; it says hand bar or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird.
I when they always go, you want me to clean the room? No, leave it, because I want to feel at home. You know?
Yeah.
leave it dirty. Otherwise, I'm gonna recognize and leave the underwear. When I leave, you clean it. You know, I can clean up. I could throw. You have to come up with ways to keep yourself busy. A lot of time, we're just in Portland, and you get home 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You wake up around 9, 10 o'clock, and then you go have your breakfast. So for me, go have my breakfast, go have my coffee, come back, and try to take a nap during the day. But then you wake up around 3 or 4, and you're just like, man, I still got 4 more hours till the
before
show.
You even show up to work, right?
Yeah, so it's like you have to find, the days are long, but it's fun. It's like, it's the best thing for, it's what I want to do, Right. Yeah.
Did you like Portland?
I love Portland.
I fucking love that stupid fucking city, man. I have a lot of listeners in Oregon.
So much.
But like Portlandia, I've been watching it recently, and I'm just like, every show, as goofy as that show is and as goofy as they make Portlanders seem, because they are. I fucking love that stupid city, dude.
It's great. I love the bridges. I like the bridges. I like the whole family type thing, like, we went to this restaurant when we were there. We went to the spot, and it was closed. So we walk around. Boom, we found this perfect spot. They had beer. They had mimosas. It was perfect, nice. It's cold. You walk in there, and it's a perfect temperature. It's toasty, nice and toasty in the restaurant. We get there, we order something, and then they go, "Oh, we don't have it. We're sorry. Let me get you guys a round of beers, and then I'll get you guys something else. Anything on the menu, go ahead and pick." And then I go, you go ahead, you decide. Surprise me with whatever you want. I'm fine. And then he brought me out this bagel. I'm not a big bagel person, but he brought this bagel. He brought this bagel out, and it had like this sausage, but it was like dipped in yogurt. Like, it was like sweet. It was like a piece of candy,
but meat.
Yeah, with meat. And he goes, "Here you go ahead and eat."
This sounds very disturbing.
Chew on that before, it had nice egg, and it was just like, it was like a yogurt.
You sure it wasn't gravy?
It was not gravy, because that's what they brought us, because they didn't have the biscuits and gravy, so they brought that.
Okay.
And then he goes, "All right, I'll be right back." And then he brought us like this egg in a bowl, just the freshest vegetables ever, mushroom. I don't like green peppers or onions. I'll go right now if you told me. So good. And then he goes, "Oh, we do have the biscuits and gravy," so they brought us the biscuits and gravy too. Nice. And he goes, "I'll bring you guys another round of beers too right now." And we're like, "Wow, you're going over every place is just over the top."
Tip the fuck out of me,
because the competition with food out there is insane. So they want you to come back,
Right.
So, but I love it out there. I want my son to grow up there. I want him to go to school out there. You know, it's
In
just,
Portland.
In Portland, yeah. Love it out there.
So when would you possibly move out there?
Oh, within 5 years, I would like to. You know, maybe
I spent 2008 to 2010 living there.
Wow.
It was I really love that town. If there was more music connections, if there was as many music connections in Portland as there are in New York, I would absolutely live in Portland. I fucking
not
love
even
that
Seattle.
Town. I'm not going
4
to
hour
fucking Seattle.
4 hour drive.
It's 4 hours north. I'm not fucking doing that. I love you guys in Seattle, but I'm not fucking. No, thank you. Yeah. I'm not going deeper into the rain. There's like
further away. You just
well, that's the thing too is that when I was moving there, the girl I was going to move up there with, she was like, "Hey, it rains a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, I can handle that." No, I can't, dude. 7-8 months out of the year, it fucking rains. It's not worth it. God damn it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty in the summer. Everybody's like, when the sun finally comes out, everybody's just naked and fucking just like, because it's finally sunny. It's fucking crazy there. Mm-hmm. It's really weird.
I always look up stupid little facts about cities when I'm just bored or whatever.
Right.
And
there's a lot of Wikipedia and porn. That's what it is.
Fuck yeah.
That's
Portland,
the life of a comic.
Portland is the second sexually active city in the United States, but it's based on condom sales.
Okay.
So
what a bunch of spoil sports.
Yeah. So I go, you guys know Portland is the most, and of course they've heard it, they know, know, and then I go, it's the second sexually active city. I go, it's gonna be number one while I'm in town.
Exactly.
They're just like, what? And it's like it's a way to let them know, hey, you care about their city. You want to relate to everybody here, and the
way to do that is through the vagina,
right through it, right through the gut, right through the gut, then through the butt, through the gut and butt.
Yeah, you can't go butt first, I think.
Nuh-uh.
You can't go. Actually, that's the way I lost my virginity. Actually, was it this girl? I was so excited. That's what I thought. See, I was so excited something was happening to my penis that I wasn't doing that I just didn't even. I didn't even like look down. I thought I smelled something a little weird, but I just kept fucking her. And then the second time we fucked, I was like, I looked down. And I'm like, wait a second. That's funny. I'm not inside her pussy. I'm inside her ass.
Yeah.
Good gravy. So I don't. Yeah, maybe it was in controversy. My virginity was. In controversy.
I have a little theory about anal sex on your birthday.
Okay,
because only on your birthday, But that's when you most likely to have whiskey dip, So it's like you're drinking so much, and it's like, oh, you missed your chance there.
Right.
It was your birthday, and you're like, fuck. What?
Well, maybe it's also easier to fit in when it's not as.
Yeah, it's not as.
Right, you'd have to like push it in like a remember those old toys that were like water
and you
balloons?
Stick your finger in
and right. It would be like that, just trying to stuff a
I think they got the name anal from like it was with a black girl at first, and she was like, hey, no. I think that's where it came from.
I see. So here's a question too, and I've talked about this many times. My personal experience as a server. I was just talking with a bartender on the last episode, Stephanie Candelaria, Mexican American. She is a bartender, and my experience has been Mexicans from Mexico or Latinos from their country tip well, but Latinos from America don't tip well. Have you seen that?
It's different for me now. Me and my girlfriend, we have a baby, so we see a lot of food underneath the table when we leave. So we always make sure to tip, tip and apologize.
Right.
We want to say sorry to all the people, the lovely workers at La Milpa and Milpitas. Right. We always leave trash. The baby just like my son just takes it and he'll go to lick it and he goes. Nope.
Right, there's Cheerios on the floor. I'm like, we don't sell fucking Cheerios. How are they fucking? Why is this my responsibility to clean this up?
Strawberry wafers, at?
Right?
And it's just. But we try to.
But it's. So. I don't think it's. I think it. I'm not saying like it's all everybody or whatever. It's just a generalization. But I think it's maybe not as much a part of the culture as it is for like white people or.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I try to tip because I get paid in tips. Sometimes I do shows for just tips. So I the way I see it is you got to give it to get it back.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tip you. You hold on to that and you give it back to me later. Right.
Right. You come to the show.
Yeah.
So you started doing at 25. Did you feel like you were good right away?
I felt I was at a good good. I had a good start. Yeah.
Okay. When was your first bomb?
My first bomb was my second show.
Okay.
So that show, I was still learning. I'm still learning. Like I'll forever be learning.
Right.
But like, so the sound bar, the board at the club, same club, somebody spilled a beer on it, and Wayne's World when they're trying to hit the sound. And then I worked at the airport at the time on the runway, so I usually did not have a voice because you're on the runway yelling, "Hey, give me that butt," very weak voice. And so then I go up, and the second row was as far as my voice went. So we had to do the show with no mic. So I get up there and I'm telling jokes, and you just hear people, "Hey, can't hear you, louder!" And I'm just like, "Fuck!" I just like, message to the club owner. I don't think I can do this. This is not what I was, I thought it was gonna be easier.
You said you think comedy in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You were ready to quit.
I was ready to quit. Yeah, after my second show, and I go, awesome. I don't know if I can do this. I'm sure she might have that email still.
Was she angry, or were you angry? Was it, or no? I'm sorry. Was the audience like? Did they get ornery?
Yeah, they were just like, "What's up? What's up with this guy? Hello, can't hear you."
Right.
And I'm like, I have no microphone. I have never done a show without a microphone before. Now I've done shows where I've gone an hour without a microphone, where I've nailed it. I feel I've nailed it without the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it a few times. Or I was at a show up in Auburn and wireless mic, and I don't like wireless mics, and I tell everybody I don't like wireless mics. Yeah, dude, this wireless mic's the best one ever, dude. Twice the mic cut out on me when I was on my last show. I was headlining a show.
Was it the battery?
It was the battery.
Yeah.
So the batteries die, and you could just hear you hear the static, and I'm like I'm looking for the fucking radio, and then I go, "Hey, this," and then I'm like, "Fuck it, I don't need the mic. Let's go. You guys ready?" And everyone's like, "Yeah," and I'm louder without the mic, and so then finally they bring up the batteries and they put them in. They bring up a second mic, and I'm up there talking.
Right.
Boom, that one goes out too. I'm like, fuck, and I'm like, hey, let's go. Fuck it. And they bring the mic again, and it started dying right at the end of my set again. And I just use that now. Before I panic, what am I gonna do? They can't hear me. Nah, first thing I do is in the back. Are you cool? Because everyone else, then they all look like this. All right, yeah, cool. He's ready. Let's go. Boom, brush it off. Let's go.
Right.
And but it took a while to learn how to do that.
Well, experience is, I think, the best teacher. Like the longer. Not always, but when I have shit go wrong at shows now, I can just fold it right in. When I fuck up on a word, often what I'll do is I'll just like, fuck that up. And then people are like, instead of having this weird thing that everyone's knowing and everyone's feeling that no one's talking about, I just put it right out there. And people, it's like a little relief. Everybody's like, oh, okay, he did fuck up. I did notice something.
Yeah.
And then, now we can laugh about it and move on, rather than having it in the back of my head,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you felt, how was your third show? And why did you do your third show? Because you were going to quit, right?
I got the message back from the club owner, and Heather's she's always been awesome to me, and she's offered me classes before to take the classes. And I said to myself, I have something against learning stand up. I have to be stand up, not learn stand up.
Right.
So she said, come take these classes, And what I did was I just started hitting everything. I started hitting every show possible. I would go out to Tommy T's in Pleasanton. I'd get off of work. I'd drive right there after work, come back home. There was another mic at the Bamboo Lounge. Bamboo Lounge. I would do that. And then I'd go to the Britannia Arms on Mondays. I do all that stuff, and I go, all right, I got a little system going on here, And then I started getting on at the Improv. I started making more friends. We were doing shows at the Quarter Note in Sunnyvale. Started making more friends. Started to make a little name for myself. Hey man, fucking give me on a show. Cool, yeah. And so then I said to myself, I go, why am I going to all these shows? Why don't I have my own show? Why am I driving all the way to Fairfield to do a show
for like $20, right?
Not even $20, right. Not even anything,
right.
Nothing. Stage time, meeting people that are going to introduce me to people that are going to introduce me to people,
right?
That are going to be like, oh yeah, I heard about that guy,
right.
So that's the pay,
right?
So then I do all that, and I go, I need to do my own room. So I booked a room at Signori's Pizza in Santa Clara. My first open mic. we would get like 30 to 40 comics. We would go.
Jesus.
We would go. It was a riot. The place was crazy. I got paid in pizza and beer. I got paid in a lot of pizza and a lot of beer.
Now this is still maybe like 12 years ago. This was like So this was before Facebook really, because now you guys have a community online that you can join, and then you can like, hey, we have an open spot in fucking Sunnyvale or whatever. We have an open spot in Stockton or whatever.
Put in
so
that
this is before all that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, we put in that work to build this little community. There's I mean, I've been with my bare hands, coming home late, going to work late, going to work hungover, going to work broke,
right.
Getting fights with girlfriends because I was out late, hanging out with people and stuff like that,
and fucking. All right, sorry, continue.
So yeah, I mean, just like it's a lot of work, dude. It's a lot of work. Right. But I did that show, and that's where I learned a lot of my hosting. I got a lot of my improv, a lot of my riffing, a lot of my rowdy crowd stuff down.
Okay.
I can walk into any room and I don't want to say take over, but I can do things the way I want.
Well, you have a healthy ego, so that's good. That's helpful.
Yeah, and I always say, with all ego aside, I'm just what I know and what I can do.
Right.
I don't think I'm better than any comic. I just think I'm as good as I want to be.
Right. So you started to build this, and what was the first kind of bad blood you had with any comedian?
God, well, it was one of the club owners here at the Improv.
Okay.
Like, you got to fill seats, and so I had a show at the Improv within my first 6 months of doing stand-up.
Now this is opening. This is
my own show,
my
own produced show. I was lucky. I met Felipe Esparza. He did my show. He headlined my show, and it packed it out. So then I go, hey, you guys want to do another show? Yeah, here's the date that I have for you. The day after Labor Day, that Tuesday after Labor Day. Nobody went to that show.
Right.
When I first started, there was no guest list. You had to have 50 pre-sale tickets before the show started. 50 pre-sale tickets. All right? 50 pre-sale, $10 each, $13,
right.
$13, 50 people. You do the math. That's over $500, close to $600, at least around there. Before anything even started, you had to have over 100 paid people the day of the show to still keep the show.
How many years in were you at that point?
I was still 6 months in. I had 79 pre-sale tickets. 79 pre-sale tickets for my first show. That's around close to $1,000.
Right.
And then the show.
How much of that did you see, by the way?
Almost all of it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But
okay.
I had to pay the headliner.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
You're like the truck. You're the truck at the Home Depot. All right, you. All right, cool. Oh,
right.
You. So my show was great. I had over 150 people there, paid to get in, not guest lists, which is it doesn't happen anymore. Even for some of the major headliners, it was just different at the time. So then my second show, we had 50 people that had bought tickets, which still will smash on some numbers right now. Paid to get in. So we got in a big argument with the owner, and he was just like, you don't have any bringers, people to fill the seats. You don't have any punchlines, this and that. We got in a big ass argument, and I didn't say anything. I said, I don't want to say anything. I'll message the guy next day, and he's like, nope, I meant what I said, and that dude kicked my ass, and I learned a lot from that guy.
Right.
Learned a lot from him. That's kind of how I am with the newer comics. Like when I run the show, some comics, like every Monday they come up to me and they go, am I up next? I have to work tomorrow. We all got to work tomorrow. Everybody here has to put the time in. So I'm like, you can't be like that. Like, who wants to do stand up and be home by 9:30?
Right.
You have to network. You have to build relationships with people. You have to
sacrifice.
It's a huge sacrifice. And so that's why I'm kind of a little rough on the newer guys and stuff like that, because the people that I started out with were like that with me.
Right.
And because of that, I can handle stuff on my own now.
So do you feel like that owner was like, do you still begrudge what he was doing, or do you feel like he was doing the right thing?
He was doing the right thing,
Okay.
I probably got lazy on it. I probably expected the same thing to happen at the last show, but like, if you don't put the work in, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So he was awesome for me. We became friends after that. He's down in San Diego. He's got a club now, doing really good. But he did a lot for me. You know, he's one of those guys where you're like, man, he's such a dick, but he's like, it's for a reason, you know. And if people are like, oh, he's a dick, it's because they're too weak to be around someone as strong as like that.
Right.
And like we haven't talked in a long time, but he.
But it's good now.
I hope it's good. But he did a lot for me, like to not just to not be comfortable with some stuff.
Right, right. Yeah, I just spent 2 hours on an off day, so I'm not making any money. I just spent 2 hours going over promotion of music, going over how to publish music, where to publish music, you know, what each royalty, how to get that. And then now I spent, you know, an hour and a half or whatever doing a podcast episode with you, and I live up in Pacifica. So like I'm putting in this is a lot of, I don't know where this fucking money's coming from, but I kind of just trust the universe that it'll all work out in the end. I'm putting in the work.
I trust the universe a lot too. I did the same thing where, you know, there's my money goes up and down, and I know that my girlfriend hates it,
right?
Because there's sometimes where it's really low. There's sometimes where it's just like, bam, here you go, you know. But that's why I have a day job. I drive cars during the day. That job allows me to take all the time off that I need for work. So I did the office thing. I can't do it. Just can't. I can't do it. You know. So I did the same way though. You put in the work, and your phone will start ringing. You know.
Yeah, actually, I was talking about it on the last one, but like my price has been going up and up and up the last few years, and I know that I've put in the work, and I know I have the video, and I have the ability to put on a show if I wanted to. I have the ability to hop on someone else's show. I know that I can go up and I can take the show. You know what I mean? Like you were talking about, like it's not really ego. Like I know you have to know your kind of, you have to know your worth in a way. You know what I mean? It is ego a bit, but it also is like, I have to know. I can't be sheepish like, oh, gee golly, I don't know. No, I've been playing for a long fucking time now. Yeah. And I know what I can do. And I also know, honestly, about the other musicians who are on the scene. You know, I know about my peers, and I know about those I look up to, and I know about those I don't look up to, and why I don't look up to them. You know what I mean? Both either, you know, musically or comedically or professionally, you know. Yeah. Those who, you know, I was just talking about it with someone else, my dad actually. And we were talking about how there are a lot of musicians who just don't leave the fucking rehearsal studio because it's not perfect, and they're just subconsciously fucking petrified. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are a lot of guys who are funny who are like too afraid to just put in the work and fail, and succeed, and then fail. You know, and just actually go out there and get on stage. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot of fail.
It's a lot of
miles in the car. I've lost one car. I've lost 2 cars already. You know, and like I said recently, I sleep in my bed, but I live in my car. You know.
Yeah.
It's like I sleep I sleep in my bed, but I live in that car. When we were in Seattle and coming back from Portland once, and we had 3 drivers, and one of the drivers had something the day we were leaving, had a connection with another friend that was he had an audition in Portland. So he went and did it. And so instead of 3 drivers now, we have 2 drivers to drive 10 hours back. Right. So it was going to be, I like to do it where the person driving and then somebody in the back sleeping. Sleep. Let them sleep. Right. Person on whatchamacallit doesn't have to entertain the driver until the driver needs it, because you're going to sit there and, you know, like this conversation that we're having, if we do this for 5-10 hours, we're going to be exhausted. Right. One's going to get tired. So I say, hey, I don't need to talk to you right now. You sleep. Let the person in the back. I put my headphones on. I get in a zone. I take off. So we only had 2 drivers now, and we were hungover. We were partying hard. It was the last day of our night, and so, or the last day of our night, last night of our run, and so we're partying hard, and then we don't go to bed till like 5, and it's 9 a.m. And you know when you're like hungover, I don't know if you drink or not, but where you just feel the heat. It's just your body's just like in the heat. You're like it's cold outside, but my body is still warm from the drinks. You know,
Portland's real big on strip clubs too. It's a big More per capita, I think. More strip clubs per capita than anywhere in the country.
We didn't do it on that one.
No strip clubs on that one?
We've gotten sponsored by strip clubs before.
Oh,
yeah,
man. I'm in the wrong fucking business.
Crazy. Like,
God damn it.
It's like I don't mind saying this, you know, like my girlfriend wouldn't get mad because she knows that I don't like them, you know, like I'm not there for that. I'm there because we have a bar tab, you know. So maybe that's the thing that she wouldn't get. She would get me. Oh, you're just there to drink. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But like we've gotten those before, and like you.
Now, how did that look? Were you performing at the strip club?
No, like so the way it had gone before was the guy that put the tour together. I'm assuming they had gone up and then went to a strip club after. Met some friends, and the guy that books those shows, he's pretty smart. He got paid more, so he paid us, but we had our gas covered, we had food covered, we got paid for every show.
Nice.
The guy that does it gets a bad name for having a couple of bad runs, but you have to go and fail. I got really lucky, and I was on the successful ones.
Right.
Two really good runs with this guy, and I'll go again. But I'm assuming he just went up there, found that spot when he was on a run, and said, "Hey, when I'm back in town next time, let's do the after party here. We'll promote your stuff, and we'll tell everybody to come here. People will come here, drink. Then you can just give us some drinks after the show. That because you have to build relationships."
Mm-hmm.
And so we went and we had free beer, and we got there, ate, and they all did their lap dances, and him and his girlfriend all had their fun and stuff like that. And to me, that I don't want to lose money on the road, you know? And I'm glad.
But you do a little. I mean, most of the time you do.
You do, yeah. Or you're even, but like that, like I just don't feel like the need to throw money at women and here you go, dance. You know, I'm more of a let's go on a date type thing. If we're at a bar, we'll talk, you know.
Right.
But like the stripper thing, I just never got into it.
Right.
You know, so didn't bother me.
Right.
Didn't do anything for me. But yeah, they do have a lot because of the rain and the cold weather. So a lot of things are indoors.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. They do a lot of gambling in Portland, and they do a lot of
smoking,
a lot of titties.
Yeah.
And Thai food too.
Yeah.
There's some fucking delicious Thai food up in Portland for some reason.
Right.
Them white people know what they're doing when it comes to food.
They can microwave like nobody else, dude. There should be a microwave challenge, a cook-off, you know?
Yeah.
Ding!
That's probably on Food Network. That's probably on Food Network. So you started doing comedy. Did you felt immediately like, you know what, this is where I want to be, or did it take some time?
Yeah, especially like after my first time. And then
because it went well.
I
hear a lot of stories of times it not going well the first time though.
Yeah, it's different with everybody. But like, I mean, one thing that I liked was when I got done and I got off stage, the new comics came up to me, go, "That was your first time?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was my first time." Wow, you're pretty good. You're this and that. And I was like, wow, shit, I didn't know. Like maybe I could have started earlier, you know. But you know, I felt like I started at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that when I was doing it, like, you know, some of the comics were looking up to me at some point. Hey, thanks for the time. Thanks for getting me on this show. Thanks for connecting me to this guy. And that's what I like about stand-up. Like when I do my shows, most of the shows that I have, people hang out after.
Okay.
And that's what I like the most. I want to hear
comedians or audience.
Comedians and audience. Okay. You know, I want to hear that Johnny and Rick met at my show, and now Johnny and Rick are doing their shows. And I want to connect people, you know, not just comics. You know, like this guy that comes to my open mic every Monday, he goes, "Man, I see you're on the road. I see you doing shows here." He's like, "You're like a real comedian." I was like, thanks a lot for saying that.
Right.
I am like a real comedian, you know.
Right.
And like that's what I like. Like I would never know that guy. I would never know that guy in my life, you know, if it wasn't for stand-up. I like meeting everybody. I have this goal in life that I want to meet everybody alive.
Right.
But, you know, and, you know, like there's this quote, it's Megan Trainor, don't get mad at me. But she says, work until you don't have to introduce yourself. So, I mean, that's how it, you know.
I like that.
I caught an Uber ride on Monday, yesterday to work. And I told the guy, "Hey, I got a stand-up show tonight. I got to go to that show." And he goes, "Where's that?" I go, "It's Woodham's Lounge." He's like, "Dude, I picked somebody up from there and told me to look you up because I want to do stand-up too." And the dude, I tipped him $5, and he came to the mic last night.
Nice.
So I want those kind of stories. You know?
Right.
Dude, I picked up this guy, and I went to a show. I'm gonna go back. You know, that's what I want. You know, it's up to him now to come back, because no one ever did that. That wasn't around when I was starting, you know.
Now, did you start off that way, or have there been points in your career where you felt there has been jealousy on your end, or like competition, like shitty competition? Obviously, we're all in competition, but like shitty competition.
Yeah, it's all shitty, and there's a lot of drama in stand-up.
Okay.
As I'm sure there's probably a lot of drama in music too.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody gets along.
Right.
Like, these are your coworkers, stuff like that. But like, the problem that I had early on was I met a lot of good friends that were really, really good. So I'm hanging out with some of my buddies, two of my buddies, Chris Doran and Ty Rivera. Those guys,
shout out. Hi, Chris.
Those guys blow me out the water, you know. But I'm like, oh, I'm hanging out with them,
right?
You know, so they must like me. We're friends and stuff like that. So like, I thought that I was like near that level, or starting nowhere near it, you know.
Okay,
that was my problem. Like,
did they help you understand that in not so nice terms?
I think they just let me figure it out, you know. Okay. and I might not have made it that obvious, you know,
right?
Because I didn't really ask, hey, can I get on this show? Can I get on your show?
Right.
But just being around people, and this one guy, it happened to me. He wanted to do stand up, and he came up to me and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then so he started coming out, and then he got real cocky. And he goes, dude, me and you go to the same mics. We're on the same level. I go, that doesn't mean that we're on the same level. You know, you see me working on stuff like everybody else, the same, you know, but you don't see where I take my work to, you know. I take my work to bigger shows, to smaller shows, to different cities, and you're still doing the open mic scene, you know. So there's, just because we're working out at the same gym doesn't mean we're in the same fight, you know.
Right.
And so that happened, and sometimes I said, I had to tell him, I go, dude, you're not who you think you are, you know. And another comic too, he goes, yeah, we're gonna be on the same marquee together, and this and that, and like, you know. I go, yeah, that might be true, but like, you're gonna be like the opener part, and you know, you're gonna be like the 5-minute slot, and I'm gonna be like the, you know,
right?
Because if you don't flex on these fools, sometimes they'll treat you like shit, or they'll think. I remember I did a show once. I was headlining, and I did like 30-40 minutes, just awesome time on stage, and the guy comes up to me and goes, oh, I didn't know you had any material. I didn't know you had, you know, and it's like, you know, like that. So sometimes you have to flex a little bit, you know. Right. It's part of the game, you know. Like the guy that plays the guitar solo backwards over his head, you're like, oh shit, that's the guy that does have some talent, you know.
Right.
But you run into some people that right away they have a career like within like the first 6 months.
Yeah, they're social media heavy and their talent light.
Yeah, big time. So sometimes, you know, I see it like as prison. Sometimes I get these new guys that are just starting, and they want to take out the big guy in the prison, you know. That's how I feel sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know? I've gotten into it with two comics recently that are brand new.
Do you want to say their names?
I don't even know how to say their names. Yeah, I don't even know how to say their names. But I'll just tell the story.
Okay.
Maybe they'll see it and it'll get around to them, and they'll realize what they did wrong.
Support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yes. So I had a show out in SAC, and the comic said, a lot of comedy in the beginning is you have to be cool to hang out with, and you drive people a lot of places. Dude. I've driven people to shows for no stage time. I've done that. Everybody does that. It's called kidnapping. You know,
right?
You. Hey, I'll get you on. Come on, let's go. I get you on. You still do it. You know, you take care of that person as much as you can. But I had a comic come out that wanted a set in SAC, and I said, okay, I'll give you a set if you drive. You know.
Now, did you know it? Question as far as that goes. Did they tell you in advance you're not going to get stage time, or
no? It was my show.
Were they lying, or
this story? It was my show. Oh, and then no. But sometimes this happened to me like 3 years ago. But for this story, I had told the comic, "Hey, I'll give you time and I'll give you gas money if you drive." Meaning, if we drive together, if I get in your car from here and we go there, and then we come back, You know? I get there. And I just decided to drive by myself. She's like, well, I'm going to stay the night with my boyfriend in Sacramento. So we can fit 3 other people, but you guys got to find your way back home. I go, just stop. Did you just hear what you said? You know, you're going to drive us to Sacramento and then we got to find our way back home. Yeah, I'm like, I'll just drive. Fine. No big deal. Right. I'll just drive. Get there and I gave her 5 minutes set. And she did.
So you still gave her time, even though it was Okay.
Still gave her time. She was still on the show. You know, I get her on. She's doing 5 minutes, and she gets off in 3. Half of the set was her just singing Hallelujah. She's like hallelujah, like over and over and over, and everyone like was just like, what?
Was she trying to be funny or singing a song?
I'm assuming she was trying to be funny. Gonna drive her away from San Jose to Sacramento.
Had you seen this person perform before?
Yes.
And it was all right?
It was
a beginner set.
Opportunity set. Yeah.
Okay.
Learning, you know, new comic, you know. And then I hear she comes up to me with her boyfriend and they corner me in the bar and they go, what's up with that gas money you were supposed to give me? I go, no, I said I was going to give you gas money if we drove together. You drove up here on your own. You didn't drive together. But you also had a guest set, and we all know guest sets don't get paid unless the comic wants to pay you. And we all know that you get paid at the end of the show. Ooh. 9 times out of 10, you know, you normally get paid at the end of the show.
Right.
I've never gone to work and someone just goes, "Oh, here's your paycheck."
Right.
You know, never. So I said, "That's fine. I'll give you gas money. That's fine. I'll still give you gas money." But we do it at the end of the show when we have the tip jar go around and I get paid from them.
Right.
Well, no. It's not gonna work like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay you out of my fucking pocket.
And so then her boyfriend keeps pacing around, and I'm outside talking to the other comics. After we all saw her just la 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 la, like, and it was just like not like we're still trying to figure that out. And so we're like what? Like what was going on? And then her boyfriend was just like sitting like right next to us, just and he's just staring at me. And I go, what's up, dude? You need something or what's going on? I knew exactly what he wanted, and he's like, so is she gonna get paid or what? Can you just pay us so we can get out of here? And I reached in my pocket and I gave the guy $10 and they left.
Jeez.
And I go, before she goes, where's this gas money at? And I go, how much? I want to know what's going on in your head. What number do you think you deserve from that set? Like, what do you think it would be fair for me to pay you? You know, because I should be getting paid by you,
right,
for that set. We had to start the whole show over again, from scratch. You know, like I get up there and I do my time, I get the show into it, and then after her, everybody was looking at me like,
can you please go up so that I don't have to follow that?
Yeah.
Which is your job as kind of the
I
host
gotta keep the cows. I gotta keep the herd. Right. You know, I had to do that all over again. But the tension after that was thick. You know,
from the audience level or from the comedians?
From me and them, from the girl and the boyfriend. And
did the audience get back on track?
They were back on track because the cool thing, it was at the beginning of the show. People were still coming in and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But I went to that show by myself, you know. And here I was cornered by this brand new comic that probably doesn't even have 20 sets under her belt yet. Jesus. And a boyfriend, angry old guy, and like this new comic, and he's just like, and I go, you don't need to be here. I'm talking to the girl that I booked on the show,
right?
The comic that was booked, and he's like, I need to be here. You need to pay her, and this, and I in my head I go, you were horrible, you know, right. Like I would not do a set where I was so bad at a set and then stick around and just be like, way to get paid.
You need the money, right?
Sorry, I'm here to get paid.
Have you talked to her since?
No, have not talked to her since.
Have you heard anyone else tell stories similar about her since? This was a year ago, you said?
No, this is recent. Within the last 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
But
she's still doing sets, I guess.
Still doing sets. Okay. I recently did a show at a club, and she had to follow me, and the same type of set happened where she was like, la, 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 and everybody was just like, whoa.
Uncomfortable. Is she pretty?
I want to say she's pretty. I want to say she's ugly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I ask that is because sometimes I have this experience with people who are pretty or privileged in some other way, and I'm not saying privileged like injustice. I'm just mean like privileged in some way where they don't feel the need to look inward or to put in the work because everybody else has coddled them throughout a lot of their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you don't have to be funny if you're pretty. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, there are some pretty people who are funny. I'm not saying that's never whatever. But, like, there are people who just naturally, subconsciously...
use their looks.
They get through life much easier, and so when it comes to actually putting in work or suffering or doing free fucking shows, they're like, what? My daddy said I'm a princess. Like, you're not treating me like a princess.
Or an only child.
Right.
Yeah. So, but a lot of it was stand-up comedy. There's a bit of that going on. Yeah, you want to you want to look at something that's good to look at on stage. It's like that with that TV. Who's that girl from the Voice or the X Factor? The fat lady. She was ugly, but she had a great voice. Her name was Boyles. Yeah. So, what the hell?
I'm actually modeling myself after her.
What the hell?
Right.
She's got a great voice, but because she's ugly, she doesn't get the chance.
Right. And
ugly,
I understand that. I understand, but I mean, like, I understand who I am, and I understand I'm not sexy in the same way Brad Pitt is automatically sexy.
Yeah.
I'm sexy in a different. I gotta talk my way, as Patrice O'Neal used to say. I gotta talk my way into sexy. You know what I mean? Like, girls are attracted to me for different reasons.
Yeah.
So like. But, like, I've known that because I had shit hard, like, I had to realize, and it's still a working muscle that I practice of, like, okay, this is the time, this is the suffering, this is the years of work, this is the fuck it. I already said I wanted to be in this, and this means I have to fail a lot, and I have to have times where things don't work out. You know what I mean? Like, so how you doing on time?
I'm great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you had that experience, and you said you had another one as well?
Yeah, well, to finish that one off, like, a lot of times is, like, a lot of comics that are brand new, they'll get booked on shows because they're known as bringers, because that means, I might not be that good, but people want to see me because I'm brand new, so here's 20 people, and guess what? You're going to get on a nice stage because you wouldn't get on that nice stage if you didn't bring those 20 people.
Similar to your first show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That show is a little bit different, but that one was time. I got more time. That club is scheduled for that open mic amateur first time type thing. This was a showcase, which is a little bit different. Showcases are, if you're brand new, you're gonna get 5 minutes because you don't have anything else. So you're gonna do 5 minutes, and guess what? You better nail that 5 minutes. And maybe one day I'll book that comic again if they learn a few things down the road.
Would they have to probably apologize to you?
Yeah, they would, because no one should corner another comic asking for money after they got the chance. It was a packed room too, and
it's like $20 like broke or not, like suffer. Like suck it up. It's $20.
Yeah, because guess what? I drove there that night and I drove right back. I don't have to spend the night in Sacramento. I go and I come back by myself.
And you have a family. You have a life.
Yeah, I've got stuff. I got stuff to do as soon as I get back.
Right.
And that's stuff that you learn because I used to think every show was a party. I used to think every show was, dude, we're gonna get crazy. Yeah, Excuse me. It's work. It's work.
Right.
Over the years, after a lot of these years saying it's not work, you realize that it's a lot of work. Driving there, you have to have gas in your car before you get there. You have to have gas to come back. You have to be awake. You have to, sometimes have a nice shirt on. You have to be presentable. It's my ways of thinking have changed every day. And I used to be like that. I used to be like that too. Like, oh, this is easy. This and that. And I said, I woke up. I said, dude, this is gonna be so hard. There's so many comics out there. But I just try to be as good as I can be, and there's no other me out there. There's no other you when you're playing. There's no other voice, thoughts in your head. There's only one of each person, and there's a crowd for everybody. So,
I've definitely been in my head on stage. When I'm in my head on stage and I'm like in the moment, I have a fucking bad show. You're not a bad show, but a bad song. You're a bad performance during that time.
Yeah.
And usually it takes some work or some whatever the fuck, meditation, whatever, to like, okay, let's sink back down into the shit. How hard has it been for you when you catch yourself thinking too much about whether people are like, when you catch yourself bombing and you realize you're the reason why, have you been able to shift gears, and what has that taken?
Yeah, I've done that before, man. Sometimes if I'm thinking too much about my set before, that'll happen. I usually like to start my set off the same way, just talking about the room or talking about what just happened before me, just to see where I'm at with the crowd. But there's been times where, I mean, I've been really tired and my mind just isn't focused, or somebody's talking to me before my set. I like to have a beer and my headphones on before, just to not even listen to if the comic is crushing or if the comic is bombing or if the comic's doing okay. I like to be, my time to be my time when I'm on stage. A good friend of mine, Samuel Bade, said, "Don't be afraid to follow anybody. When you're on stage, that's your time. Right. That's you. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about that."
Right.
And I used that. I had to follow Nick Swardson. He was doing sold out weekends at the Improv. My cousin wanted to go to the show. Usually I get into shows for free. I said, yeah, we'll just go in, meet me here in San Jose from Hollister. Meet me here, and then we'll go to the club together. We'll go watch a show. We'll hang out, spend the night. Right. So I get the call from the manager. He goes, you're going to open up for Nick Swardson. And I go, all right, cool. I'll be right there. I get there, and he goes, so this is what's going to happen. And I go, damn, I'm not going to do the show, So he goes, Nick doesn't do check drops, meaning they don't drop checks.
Right.
While he's finishing up his set, because people will stop watching Nick and they'll start doing the checks. So he goes, you're gonna go on after Nick. So we're gonna drop the checks when Nick gets off, and then you're gonna go on stage, and everybody here is gonna be working on their checks while you're on stage. I'm not gonna tell you how much time it is because they're gonna fill out their stuff. So you have to be on stage while they're doing that.
Jesus.
All right, I'm going to go to the bar then. Right. So I have the whole because you get there at the beginning of the show.
You're pretty much being told no one's going to pay attention while you're on stage.
Yeah, I go, all right. And not only that, you have to follow Nick Swardson. Right. Who's up there, Adam Sandler's story. He's up there telling all those movies, and he's just murdering. Right. And I'm just like, damn. So my cousin was up there, and he was watching it, and then I go, he's all, dude, you're gonna have to go on after Nick. I go, shut up. Right. Fuck, leave me alone. I'm trying to think. Calm down, relax. I've never done that before. I've never followed a national celebrity. He's a national headliner, comic, I had to go on after that. It's a big thing. I was listening to what my friend Sammy said. Make your time your time. I get up there and I say one thing to myself. All right. Who do you think is gonna be signing these checks most of the time that I'm gonna be on stage? All the guys. Right. So I'm gonna have all the women in the room watching me, and I just use that to my motivation. I use it, and I was just like a machine gun, just jokes, just I didn't do any long stories. Boom, boom, boom. Got all my jokes out. Boom, 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 boom. At the Improv, from the stage, in the center of the stage, there's that little corner where the headliner comes out. He comes out and he goes down the stairs and he goes down the hall. From where I was on stage, I could see Nick up in that corner, and he was like clapping at my jokes and my set. So then I get up and I go up there and I go, "Hey man, thanks a lot for having me. It was good to see you. Blah blah blah. Nice to meet you. I'll see you next time. And he goes, "Hey, come back and do the next show." I was like, damn. So he asked me to come back and do the second show, and then my cousin was like freaking out. What, dude? And so he was in the green room and everything, and I stay out of there. If it's not my green room, it's his green room. I'm just asked to do something from the club. He didn't even know I was gonna be there, obviously. So he was like, "Hey, come back and do the second show too." I was like, "Wow, that was awesome."
That's fucking great, man.
Yeah,
good for you.
Forget that.
What was the worst bomb you've had? If you can remember it.
Worst bomb I had. It had to have been that second show. Yeah, that second show. Yeah, no microphone. no microphone, and also
at that Nick. You're saying Nick?
Not,
okay.
Yeah, not
right.
the Swardson show.
Right.
My second show ever. No microphone,
Okay.
no voice.
Okay.
I used to drink pretty heavily before because I was still nervous. It took me a while to get over that. Right. I mean, I'd get up there. Once I got up there, I was like, damn. Right. But that second show stands out. No, like I said, no microphone. Trying to think of my jokes and also project my voice at the right time.
Right.
You don't got to be. I would try not to scream. Mm-hmm. So that second show for sure was the worst show I've ever had. Which I'm glad I got that out the way at the second show.
Right.
Not while I'm hosting the Oscars.
Right. I found. I want to see if you feel like this is similar to you, but like I've had big shows, and often I've had like expectations before the big shows that this is going to mean XYZ, that I'm going to get a certain amount of reaction and blah 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 blah, and then I've thought, I think it's more like a cumulative thing. Like I haven't had a show where like all of a sudden this has propelled me to this level that I think so beforehand, but it is cumulative. I may not see the exact results right away.
Never.
But it's like, okay, this does build on top of this, or I meet this person from this big show who introduces me to this other show or to this other person who I'm actually friends with, and we make a song or blah, 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 blah. But it's never like, all right, this is going to be my fucking chance. You know what I mean? I haven't seen that.
Immediate, yeah. Nope, same thing, yeah. Like, you'll do a show, and you'll hope that maybe there's somebody in the audience that goes, hey, here's my card. I might need a comedian, or this and that, Right. But, yeah, that's why you do every show. I performed once at a breast awareness gathering.
You mean breast cancer
awareness.
Breast awareness.
I'm still trying to figure out what it was.
Right.
It was like a party,
right,
but it was in somebody's backyard,
right,
and like there was pink balloons everywhere,
right.
And
was it one of those shows you get paid for, or was
we got paid like $50, and like you get to eat with us.
Yeah.
I've done. Let me see. Everything. Backyards. I used to do stand up in my backyard. I used to have a microphone jack where it had in my car, or it had the auxiliary, and I'd plug that into my microphone, and I would do stuff in my car. All the time I would do that.
Right. Now this is to you, just to practice.
Just to me. In the garage, I set up my mic. Set up the mic stand, and I put like 6 or 7 chairs out there, and they're empty, so I guess I'm comfortable.
Right.
So it's more realistic, and just try to practice all the time. My mind never shuts off. Mm-hmm. I'll be sleeping, and you write something down. Right. It's like my mind just never shuts up. It's always thinking, oh, how can I make that funny? Right. But that's why I stand up isn't everything. It's just something that I do. There's some comics that's all they do. That's all they do. Stand like my friend Dan. You have to have a life to talk about it. I don't let it take over. I cancel on comedy sometimes. I cancel on life to do comedy sometimes. So you have to have a balance, or else you just go nuts.
And you can't have people in your life. I mean, you have a female. You have a son. Like you have to kind of. So you're not giving up effectively, but what you are doing is adjusting so that, I mean, because what the fuck are we actually doing? I think you watch Comedians in Cars, getting coffee.
Yeah.
So like Larry Sanders was talking to Jerry about how when Robin Williams got up, and you first saw Robin Williams do stand up, you don't remember every fucking word he said, but you felt him. You remember how he made you feel, or how he made you laugh, or whatever. It's that same thing. I feel like, as corny as it is, what we're actually doing is becoming more our genuine selves and projecting that and perfecting that and growing that and sharing it with people. So if we're just, because the more shows I do, when I'm just doing wine bar gigs over and over and over, sure, I'm getting paid and it's handsomely and whatever, but I'm also, there's a big chance that it becomes mechanical instead of organic. It becomes, okay, I know I play this chord at this time, and this person's going to react the same fucking way, and then I'm going to say this funny banter, and then I'm going to get blah, blah, and I end up leaving the show just feeling like, how the fuck am I doing this anyway? You know what I mean? Like, what? I didn't connect with a fucking soul in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes when I do club work. I feel like I have to, like if I'm hosting at a club, I have to do what works what I know works. So within that 10 minutes, I'm just like, I just feel like I'm in a straitjacket. Like I'm like, man, I got to bust out of this, you know? So that's why for me, the goal is to become a feature at a club where I can get 20 minutes and be more myself, you know?
Because the host and an opener don't fuck with the crowd, right? Is that what
they
it is?
usually don't. They usually don't. They save that for the headliner. The headliner sometimes will say, "Hey, don't do any crowd work. You want to do." You just want to warm them up. Let them know, hey, make sure your bar and wait staff, take care of them. Some places have comment cards. Fill out your favorite comic. You guys ready to get the show started? Come on, you got to remember intros. So you get 10 minutes, usually 10 to 12 minutes, but maybe like 4 to 5 minutes of that is letting them know, no heckling, drinks, we have this coming up. Turn your phone off. Blah, 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 your next comic. Then you got to remember the intro for that comic. Make sure, and then you got to know how say that comic's name,
Have you ever said anyone's wrong?
All the time.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah. I think the open mic that I have, it's just to learn people's names. That's all it is. 30, 40 names a night,
Right.
So that's what I use it for.
And how often I've been to a lot of, because some of my songs are funny, and so comedians will have me play at their show as like a break or as a whatever. And often I hear over and over, oh, he performs all over the Bay Area, like that generic. He performs all over the Bay Area. That gets boring as fuck to say, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we hear it all the time, but we also have to keep in mind maybe the people that are coming out don't come out. But it's a standard intro. This next comic, he works all over the Bay Area. Give it up. Right. It's like he's a national headliner. He works all over. I remember one time somebody said that I was the king of San Jose. Give it up. He's the king of San Jose. And I walked out and I was like, do I look like does anyone know me? And they're like, El Rey. And I go, well, I'm the fucking king of San Jose. God damn it.
Right.
Like you better get to know your kings.
Do you feel like people sometimes see you as that? Like obviously that dude, but like
I think so.
Okay.
I'm like
I mean, you got to like it in some way,
Yeah,
right? You can't just you know what I mean? You put in 13 years.
It's going to be the supervisor, I guess, but no. Like there was a lot of guys that started out here in San Jose that have moved on. They moved down to LA. They've even some guys that live in San Jose don't do stand up in San Jose. They go to San Francisco because they're supposed to do it in San Francisco. Right. But I don't want to leave. There's no need for me to leave. I would only leave if someone said, "Here's this amount of money to go here and this and that and do that amount of money."
But you're thinking of Portland, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing that because like I don't want to go to LA. Like I don't. There's no need for me to go down there. I'm not that level, comic. Like to stay in one spot, I have more fun just on the road, just doing comedy where comedy isn't supposed to be at. You know? That's what I like.
But does there feel like there's only a certain level you can get to?
I mean,
like for me, I'm a musician. I've been thinking of moving to New York, or I'm moving to New York in September, and part of the reason why is because as fun as it is doing music around here, there's only a certain level I can kind of get to doing it this way.
Yeah.
And maybe it's different for comedy. I don't know. But
yeah, I feel like I've done everything I probably can in San Jose. I have shows in Sacramento and shows in Hollister. And the show that I do in Hollister is awesome. They love it. And like, that's what I like. I like taking comedy where comedy isn't, know. I don't need to do comedy at a club. I don't, I used to think that, I gotta get in at this club. I would love, there's a bar right here called the Giant Shed in San Jose. I would love to pack that out. 100 people, 200 people of people that wouldn't go to a comedy club. Okay. These are East Siders that wouldn't even know.
Es la raza.
The Duke of Earl,
right.
I want to rock that, I want and then people be like, man, this guy can do a comedy show anywhere,
Okay.
That's the way I want to do things.
Right. Plus there aren't a lot of Mexicans in Portland. So you would be the spearhead. You would be the Lewis and Clark of Portland.
Yeah, for sure.
Luis. Right. So you have that plan and do you feel like there is more you can do? I mean, what else could you do here?
Yeah.
Here anyway.
Here, I don't know which more I can do here. I mean, I run an open mic. We celebrated 6 years last night of an open mic.
What about maybe more at the Bay Area level, like San Francisco, like you were saying? There are a lot of comedians who hang out at the Punchline or hang out at Cobb's.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a thing where you go there on Sunday nights. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I have nothing against it. Like I have nothing against that club at all. I don't have nothing against any clubs. Mm-hmm. It's just that I know that I have to put all my energy into my Mondays because that show's 4 hours,
Right.
And back in the day for me, like 5-6 years ago, I would hit 10, 12 mics a week, but now I'm doing less mics, but more time. So, which I don't have a problem with. That's perfect.
Yeah. You've put in your work to do
put in the work and still got more work to do always, but I don't know. I'm comfortable with what it is. I'm seeing a lot more shows popping up in San Jose, and that's just from taking the seed and planning it. Even if they came to my room and said, I could do something better than this. Great, good, do it so that I can get on that show.
Right.
So there's a lot of that. The San Jose scene, I'm seeing a lot more SF comics come out here. I got people from SAC coming to my Hollister show, which that is a drive. That's 2.5 hours to Sound. It's about 3.5 hours from SAC to Hollister.
Right.
And nobody complains. They have a
Right.
good time. I make sure I take care of them as best as I can.
Right.
And they want to come back. So comedy, there's a lot of driving. Like I said, you sleep in the bed, but you live in your car. Excuse me.
Right.
So.
Well, let's start wrapping up a little bit. But
Sure.
I did want to ask you about you are friends with Jarod.
Yeah.
The motherfucker who I've had on the show 3 times now. There's only been a couple
Good
of
friends.
people.
I'm good friends with Jarod.
I love that
right?
dude. He's a fucking he's a good dude. But I want to know, as a Mexican, is it hard being friends with a racist? No.
It's hard. It was
fucking
hard
around.
being his friend from day one. From day one, he knows it. He's gonna watch it. He knows it.
I love that
all
dude,
right?
man. I agree with a bunch of shit with him. Just politically, you don't. Are there some things you're like, I just have
not
to
big
let
on
him.
politics. I'm
Right.
not too into it, so I stay away from it. But
Right.
he makes a lot of noise. He's just.
I love that.
That's how Jarod is, dude. That's Jarod, dude.
But I like pointing it out because too often the white liberals that I know, they just get so caught up in like you can't be unequally yoked. You know what I mean? Like the Bible says, you can't hang out with people who are conservative or who are and you do. You know what I mean? Like you don't seem to give too much of shit about politics, and that's a commendable thing. I think.
Yeah, I mean, how boring would life be if we all agreed with everything,
Right. Especially as a comedian. There's so many comedians who are like, I'm going to do a set on Trump. Like, oh, you're so courageous. You know, you fucking suck a dick. You know what I mean?
I don't even do posts about him. For what? He needs more attention, I don't do it. Just don't care.
But you seem to be level-headed enough that even if someone disagrees with, like Jarod as an example, you may disagree or like be like, politics again. But the reality is you know the dude.
I know the dude.
You grew up with the dude, so you have that history, and you don't throw that out just because he disagrees with you on some shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's entitled to his own opinion the way I am. So how can I be a hypocrite and say, oh, what you're saying is wrong, but what I'm saying might be wrong too. But he's not getting on me for being different, because that's just who he is, and that's who I am. That's who everybody is. But some people don't express themselves and they just keep to themselves. But Jarod talks about his stuff and it's out there in the open.
Right.
And so people will, I don't like that he says that. Well, then you don't have to follow him. You don't have to read him. You don't have to be friends. He doesn't care.
Right.
He doesn't care if you delete him. He
Right.
doesn't care. He's going to be who he is.
Right.
And everybody should be like that.
Right. I've had people who I know well cut me off after, we've done music together, we've broken bread, we fucking, and they've cut me off because of even as an example, having Jarod on the show. Like, people are like, oh, you shouldn't be giving a platform to that white supremacist. I'm like, nigga, he's fucking Mexican. Like, would you calm the fuck down? Like, but I've had people do that. And so I really like pointing out that most of us are kind of in the middle. That most of us are kind of level-headed.
Yeah.
And you seem to be level-headed and mature enough to handle it.
Yeah.
When you disagree with somebody.
We lived together for like 2 years. And I think everybody in the East Side, I think it's a rule that you have to be roommates with Jarod. Everybody's been with it's like, you remember in Jerry Maguire when he's going through his little black book of Jerry Maguire and then all the women that he's been with.
Right.
I think that's Jarod with roommates. But maybe if I wasn't his roommate and I didn't get to meet who he is, like the asshole that he can be, the asshole roommate,
sure.
you know, the real person.
Right.
Maybe would have been different, but I know him. So, you know, when all that stuff came out and I had comedians sending me messages, do you believe this and that? I go, man, the address that they had wasn't even his address on the flyer.
Right.
Like, but you don't know that because you just read whatever's out there. And I've done it too. I've judged things right away without knowing the facts. We all do it. No one's perfect. Right. But I know the dude. I know him, and like I know him. So he's been there for me. You know, he's had my back hard. So hard. He comes to my show, supports, and he buys tickets to the show. He doesn't go, can you get me in? He doesn't, you know, do that. He supports the show and he puts money into the show that goes into your pocket. Right. You know? So, and that's what supporting somebody is, by the way.
Really?
Not just standing there in the back drinking water. You know, you have to, you know, you got to pay for some stuff every now and then. Right. But he does that. He's done that, you know, and whatever his political stuff that he does, that's him, you know, like that's what he does. And he has his own, there's enough people out there for him to get into arguments with or discussions where he doesn't, you know, need to be an ugly person. It's not a bad thing. You think he's the only person that talks like that? There's, you know, it's crazy right now, you know?
So, well, good on you, man. Thanks for doing that. I mean, it seems like silly to thank somebody for being level-headed, but I appreciate it. I really do, because it's hard to, especially as a performer. Like you kind of, as someone who's, you know, the king of San Jose, it's got to be, you know, for someone who's known, even Jarod as a musician, as a performer, even me as a podcaster musician. Like the reality is we're putting ourselves out there. There's a lot more risk for you and me and Jarod being as people who can be found, as Jarod even fucking experienced, being as people who could be found or called out online for, you know, for supporting blah, blah, blah. And it's, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, I'm willing to withstand the waves of dog shit that will come my way because I have a constitution. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know who I am, and I know, like, and you know real motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, you hang out with the dude or you hang out with people who are like, you know what? This guy's good. I don't really care what his politics are. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Awesome.
This is going to be out on Monday. Where can people see your comedy?
You can come to Woodham's Lounge every Monday night. We start about 9 o'clock.
Where's
go
that?
Till about midnight. It's 4475 Stevens Creek Boulevard in Santa Clara. It's off the street called Woodham's. It's right there. About a mile from Santana Row. And Friday, April 19th, I'll be in Hollister at Johnny's Bar and Grill with Mean Dave as our headliner. Hey. Chelsea Barris is on there. Chris Almers. It's an awesome show. It's free. Come out. It's about an hour from San Jose if you want to get out, take a nice drive. Cool little dive bar. Awesome show.
And you're online as well?
Yeah. Pete Muñoz, Facebook. PTR David 81 is my Instagram. And that's my Snapchat, too, that I don't use as much.
Ooh. Yeah. All right. And you can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. I will be talking more about the album that I've got coming out soon. And possibly, I sound like Steve Brule, and possibly putting out some samples of it too for my Patreon people. So patreon.com/Conservatish. You can support this podcast, and I love you all very much.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Bye.